We moved into the neighborhood 3 months ago, lured by the tree-lined streets, clean sidewalks, and the promise of a family-friendly community. The house was a dream white picket fence, spacious backyard, and a park just 2 blocks away where my kids could play after school. It wasn't long before we heard whispers about HOA Karen. No one called her by her real name anymore, just that. She was the self-appointed queen of the homeowners association, always lurking behind her curtains or pacing the sidewalk with a clipboard, noting offenses like overgrown grass, loud wind chimes, or chalk drawings on sidewalk. I didn't expect our first run-in to happen so viciously. That Saturday, my husband Jack and I took the kids Emily, 6, and Josh, 4 to the neighborhood playground. It was one of those perfect spring afternoons, with sunlight pouring through the trees and laughter echoing through the park. Jack went off to grab iced coffees while I stayed with the kids. Emily was playing house under the slide with a group of other kids, while Josh raced up and down the monkey bars. I was scrolling through my phone, half watching, half daydreaming, when I heard it shouting, sharp, shrill, and unmistakably angry. "Get off that equipment right now. That's not how you use it. You're going to break it." I looked up to see a woman mid-50s, bleached blonde bob, oversized sunglasses, HOA badge hanging from her neck like a police officer marching across the mulch like a storm cloud. She was yelling at my kids. Emily was crying. Josh had frozen mid-climb. The other children scattered like birds. I stood and walked toward her, my heart pounding. "Excuse me, ma'am. Those are my children." Karen didn't even look at me. "They were misusing the play equipment. I've already reported this park as unsafe, and I don't need your kids making it worse." "They're kids," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "They were playing." "They were being reckless," she snapped. "And the little girl had chalk. That's vandalism. Vandalism." That's when Jack came back from the cafe, iced coffees in hand, sunglasses on, tall and silent like something out of a Clint Eastwood film. He saw Emily crying and Josh holding onto the monkey bars like his life depended on it. And then he saw Mimi body tense, my voice raised. He walked straight toward us, not saying a word. Karen saw him coming. Her voice faltered mid-rant. She stumbled back a step, looking up at him like a raccoon caught in a flashlight. "Tu was just trying to protect the community," she stammered. "Your wife got aggressive with me." "I saw everything," Jack said, his voice like steel. "And the only one being aggressive here is you." Karen mumbled something about calling the HOA board and retreated faster than I'd ever seen a woman in orthopedic sandals move. The other parents slowly returned, eyes wide. One of them whispered, "She's never backed off before." We stayed another hour at the playground. Emily started smiling again. Josh finally slid down the pole. Later that evening, we got a knock at our door. A handwritten apology, note signed only K. I don't know if Karen will change, but I do know this. When you mess with someone's kids, you better be ready to deal with both parents. The note was short. "I may have overreacted. Please accept my apology." It wasn't signed Karen or even her real name, just a scribbled K. No return address, no explanation, just a folded piece of paper slipped under our welcome mat, like some kind of suburban peace treaty. Jack laughed when he read it. "Guess she realized she can't bully everyone." I wanted to believe that, but in the back of my mind, I wondered, was this guilt or just damage control? For the next couple of weeks, things were quiet. Karen didn't show up at the park, didn't patrol the sidewalks, didn't file any HOA complaints at least not against us. The neighborhood began to feel normal again. My kids could play without looking over their shoulders. I could sit on a bench without rehearsing arguments in my head. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the rooftops, I found myself at the park again. Emily and Josh were laughing with a group of neighborhood kids. Jack was tossing a frisbee with someone's golden retriever, and I was finally just breathing. That's when Karen showed up. No clipboard, no sunglasses, no badge. Just Karen, alone. She stood at the edge of the playground, arms crossed. I braced myself. But instead of marching over, she stayed put watching the kids. After a few minutes, she walked over slowly and stopped a few feet away from me. "I used to come here with my son," she said. Her voice was quieter than I expected. "Years ago, he loved the swings." I didn't know what to say, so I just nodded. "I lost him in a car accident. He was 10. Her lips trembled, but she caught herself quickly. "Since then, I guess I've been trying to keep everything under control." That hit me harder than I expected. "I'm sorry," I said, and I meant it. She gave a small smile, wobbly, tired. "I shouldn't have taken it out on your kids. Or you." I didn't respond with a hug or forgiveness speech. I just offered her the open bench next to mine. And we sat there, two very different mothers, quietly watching the children play. As the streetlights flickered on and the sky turned dusky orange, Karen stood to leave. Before she walked away, she said something that stuck with me. "Tell your husband he's got a hell of a presence." Then she laughed, genuinely this time. Scared the crap out of me. That night, I told Jack everything. He didn't say much, just squeezed my hand and kissed the top of my head. Life in the neighborhood never became perfect. Karen still had her moments, but she was softer now, slower to anger. And once in a while, I'd catch her smiling at the park from her porch. It turns out, even HOA Karens have stories. Sometimes, all it takes is one moment, one confrontation, one family brave enough to stand tall for the truth to come through the cracks, and maybe even a little healing too.